Troops, pinch, hut! Raise that arm!
You'd like to say something, but you know you're not supposed to. Go ahead. What's your name? And driving the sheep on. Okay, go ahead, Trudy. Okay, you've done that, haven't you? Got a little nephew your knee? Likely to lose his bet. Come on. Moral character. What?
So that we will not have to undertake
News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
How we...
This is a good mix.
How you doing today? Everything going all right?
Still here, stand by. County 4L7. Go ahead. What do you got, Ratchet?
I don't know what happened. I got out and started shooting back.
All right. Can you get this covered?
Sure can.
Hey, you guys get back, okay?
I'm gonna go down.
One corner.
No. This just been since it happened. They just came on the scene and it happened right there.
Oh,
See the car?
they ran into him there.
Right.
Oh, no, but it just scared me to death.
7 here. Okay, we got 110-7 here and 1 wounded, and we got 2 music teams that are 10-7. Okay, what here you do? I think we're okay in Caddo. Where's calling for 104, go ahead. Do you need another ambulance at Caddo? I think.
working for a while in our recreation department in Midwest City after that.
I don't personally feel, Mr. Mayor, that anyone in our police department is doing anything for monetary gain. I don't believe even the people that are committing these acts, if they are doing it for monetary gain. If they are releasing information to the street, I want the proof to be known. I want the investigation conducted properly, and I want the badges taken away from them. I want them in a position where they cannot harm this department and this city any further.
You still carry Davis County?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I sit in the leaders.
I might be, yeah. Have we got any Davis County courts back there, Jeff?
People's taste will have to go to the more tasteful type beer that is more widely known in the northern and eastern parts of the United States because of the European influence of beer in that part of the world. Their beer tastes different from our beer here in the southern part of the United States. Our beer tends to be light. Their beer tends to be more flavorful and have a better beer flavor, as beer should be.
That we are now assessing at 82/100%, and that's the actual tax 82/100% of the true market value. Now in California, I understand that those who are in revolt would be very happy if they could get it down to 1%. Well, we're under 1%, and I see no increase in the immediate future.
Okay, we can ask 4 questions. One, need example concerning change in export.
Yeah. The correct rates and the proper rates that you find are in the letter of June the 2nd, 78. They're not the correct rates.
The one that we...
Mrs. Olson has... This is one time that you as agents will not be embarrassed by the insurance companies that you represent for charging higher premiums to your policyholders. The increased benefits which will be paid to the injured workers and the determined judgment rate as a result of it provides much needed benefits to the injured worker in this state who is injured while working on the job.
Ellen, why don't you do 2? No, 20. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Good. Change it to 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1 opportunity. Let me just touch this up a bit. Much better. It provides a totally new way to look at molecules in solution. It's a far more detailed way to examine molecules. It's a far more precise way, and it brings also the ability to measure motion in molecules, and most techniques are not sensitive to the kinds of motion, and motion of molecules is an important part of its function. How a molecule moves relates to how it works. Those peaks that are coming up there we'll have to figure out a little bit later. I don't understand them yet, but the rest of it down there looks very nice. Real good. I like that. You don't know what this is yet, you'll get it. The rest of these look very nice. Okay, let's set up for another experiment.
Certainly, progress means building and change, but it also means considering the individuals that are presently here, as well as in the future. I believe that the Board of Education finally decided to speak to this issue and have a representative here today because of the parents behind it, who took the initiative to form their own task force, to start doing studies on the overcrowded situation, the situation of how our schools reach capacity and get overcrowded very, very easily in a very short period of time.
I've been rolling all the time. Ellen, why don't you just go to the other one? How a molecule moves relates to how it works, and this technique, through the kind of shape of the bands of the peaks that we see from a protein, for example, tells us how the molecule is moving, what parts are fixed, what parts are not fixed, and so forth. That's the sort of thing that leads directly to an understanding of mechanism, and that's what we're really after, how things work. Do it on the methyl peaks up at the right end of the spectrum. Okay. Why don't you work that spectrum up at 2 Hz line broadening, that's fine. PB at minus 515 or so.
I thought it was the thing to do because we do have a surplus of grain in the country, and personally I think that 20% is a good reason we need to reduce the surplus.
You can be your own star. Now how about that? Never thought about it like that, did you? Okay. Okay, let's do it. From the beginning, listen up now. From the beginning. Together, right together, left together, back together, front together, front. Roll your arms. 1, 2, 3. Now count. 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. Front, back, side, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, down. 2. Come on, you can do it. If you can square dance, you can disco. Front, back, side, kick. Back together, keep going. Together, right together, left together, left together. 2, 3, 4, 1, up, 2, up, 3, up. Front together, right together, left together, up. 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. Front, back, side, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. Front, back, side, kick. Okay. Good job.
Well, it scared us at first. We were shocked by the work that was going to be done, and that it was going to be completely shut down. We didn't know how that would do. But now that it has been done, there's not anything we can do about it, and we found that the people still want to come to the Havana.
And before lunchtime, have 4 waiters. Now we only need 3. And nighttime, 4 waiters on a regular day, and now only 3. On Friday, Saturday, we had 8 before or 9, but now about 6 p.m. now.
This has been a major problem over recent years. We have not been able to offer many of our staff employees, especially our skilled laborers, wages competitive with those offered by businesses in the metropolitan area. As a result, we have had a high staff turnover and had to recruit simply to replace employees. In just 6 months, we have reallocated $2.3 million and had a net reduction of 113 job positions on the Norman campus. Of our 578 different staff classifications, 80% have now attained an average salary range that is competitive at the lower levels with the Oklahoma City metropolitan market.
Let's shoot the sequence next with the brown car.
Pat's button's right in here. This is what blowed out. This is, see, the front of the car ought to be about right in here.
We're ready anytime you are.
So I got out of the patrol unit, came out with my rifle, and was taking up a position. As I was taking the position, subject ran back into the bushes, and Zebra 22 pulled off down to the corner. A second or two passed, caught a glimpse of Hoyt Hughes coming up the street, back towards the pickup. Gunfire started again. Then I advanced toward the tree, which was directly on the west side of the road, on the north side of the road.
What Proposition 13 has done is to give me more support in what I've been trying to do for the last 5 years in Congress, and that is to make the majority of Congress aware of the need to reduce spending and the need to give tax relief. And while I've been preaching that gospel for 5 years, we have not been able to put the majority together until the California vote on Proposition 13. And now the results since Proposition 13 just last week, when we started the appropriations process in the House of Representatives, we have cut back between 2 and 5% the spending on every appropriations bill we had last week.
Our statement was that should, and it would lay this plan, would lay the groundwork for not only sub-district for educational purposes, but also for political purposes. And that's our concern, is that we want to be assured that sub-districting for desegregation purposes certainly would not in any way in the future affect the potential for reducing minority representation on the Board of Education.
The proposed long-range planning sub-districting has absolutely nothing to do with the current districts from which board members are elected. We would want to impact in no way 7 board members being elected or the areas in which they represent at the present time.
So what would this do?
The only purpose of the subdistricting is to provide shorter average busing distances so that parents can have more of planning and input in what happens to their children when they go to school. And that can be done through advisory committees in each of these subdistricts.
The Department of Defense simply does not know the extent of drug abuse within the military, and that there are no efforts underway presently to determine the effects that it's having upon our combat readiness of our troops throughout the world. And of course, this has to be the beginning point. We have to determine the extent of it and the effects that it's having. And until we do that, it's going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to actually begin the long road to recovery for our armed forces.
Several members of the Oklahoma City School Board want to close down Channel 25. They say the station is too expensive to justify the small number of teachers and students who use the program. Last year, the school board spent $310,000 just to keep the station on the air, and the board is facing a $290,000 repair bill on the transmitter. So some board members are predicting next week the board will vote to shut down the station.
There was not enough usage by the classroom teachers, and then the general public, you know, at night there weren't enough viewers there. It's a very, very small part of the market. I think the biggest margin that we ever drew was something like 4% of the audience, you know, and that was for Leave It to Beaver, a rerun of Leave It to Beaver. And I didn't feel like that was educational television.
Channel 25 has been beset with problems. 2 years ago, a Channel 4 reporter was not able to find out just how many students even watched Channel 25 programming. Today, we asked administrative officials how much money they spent on Channel 25 during the last 10 years, and no one was able to tell us. Christy Myers, Channel 4 News.
I am today announcing an important policy decision. Although we are not legally bound to do so, we have decided to provide just compensation for those who contracted Guillain-Barré as a result of the swine flu program, rather than force many individuals to prove government negligence in protracted proceedings.
Our biggest problem, I would say the biggest problem with the numbers of people have been housing, sleeping rooms. And the problem is not that we have not had cooperation, it's just that the rooms are not there. The city does not, you know, our city does not have this many sleeping rooms available to us.
all, I want to welcome you to the Major League Scouting Bureau's tryout camp here in Midwest City. It's going to be conducted by Mr. Grade you off the mound. We'll position over to first. If any leg injuries of any kind, you're going to pitch tonight. We do not want to further any injuries. Or what we're going to look for are the necessary tools that you must have to play productively on a major league level. And the first tool that we're going to look for is running speed. Now we have an area marked out here. I think it's in left field. Go! Run! Run! No, I wasn't part of it. 6, 7.5. Joe, come on. Throw him out, you still got him. Go slow it.
Blew out one of the windows down there, and I was telling him about it.
One of those things.
The main thing is people. I think that's what causes the cost to go up. We increased the state payroll years and years and paid people in state payroll almost subhuman wages. We have in the last few years raised those wages, and that is what's increased the cost of government tremendously. I think we've simply got to start cutting down on the number of employees. We've got to demand efficiency. We've got to build incentives for providing the same service with a reduced number of employees. Okay.
We're going to have one person from one side start across with some kind of a character walk, a movement, you know.
Good. Thank you.
If you meet the needs of the people, you are always going to get a response. Now this includes not only donations, it includes everything. It is a total element. If a person feels like we're here and they can call us and say, my daughter was just in a car wreck, could you pray for her? Do you know a minister that could come up to the hospital and be with us? Well, even these people, and I honestly believe that perhaps less than 60% of our listeners are actually affiliated with the church. We are the church for these people. A gospel station, sterilely. You can program it so it sounds programmed.
Been used as a city hall, a fire station, and a police station. And we've outgrown the facilities, and it's in a bad state of repair. And we'll go in here and have a look at the jail. This is the male prisoner part of the jail here. It is too small according to the laws of the state that's handed down to us, and so we're going to have to enlarge the jail facility. We're going to have room for female prisoners, male prisoners, juvenile male and female. And here is the female or the maximum security jail right here. And you can see that it is lacks a lot to be desired, even for prisoners. This is a state law, and they expect us to comply by it. And
And I guess what I was appalled by more than anything else is not only did he fail to show up, it was obvious from the interview with his staff, it was running the paper that they did not intend to show up, and second, that they pointed out there wasn't anybody in the office that understood utility rates enough to have appeared. And I assume that the staff meant the Attorney General himself didn't understand them, yet he's doing quite a bit of pontificating right now about utility rates. I think he'd better get on with doing the job he's been directed to do.
one of the problems in Oklahoma is that the federal guidelines were basically designed for the large, densely populated eastern and west coast areas. And in the middle part of the country, and particularly in the southwest, where we have a lot more land and much less population density, they sort of forgot us. So we have to modify those guidelines so that health care services are not destroyed.
Decreased desirability of your lease file. That you can probably expect your home values to go down at least $5,000, possibly up to $10,000 from the decreased desirability of your home and its close proximity to something that attracts a questionable crowd.
He told me 1964 was up. So I guess that's
well, let's ask him that when he comes.
It might be a wise idea if we get legal counsel. Now, I came here.
Yes, I think that psychology and that attitude, the rebellious taxpayer attitude, is carried over and is sweeping nationwide, and it definitely contributed to our position in this election. We were trying to keep property taxes low, and that was part of the issue.
I really felt that it had a good chance of passing. However, I was fully aware of the situation in California on Proposition 13, and felt that there probably would be some difficulty in getting the bond issue passed. However, I think we had a good package put together. It was honest, and we told the people just how it was, and of course they chose not to fund that project.
We see a relationship between the vote of the people in California on Proposition 13 and the opposition of increasing opposition of people in this country to gun control.
In both cases, the people seem to be saying that we want less government control, we want less government regulation, and this is just as much a part of the question of taxation that was decided in California as it is a part of the question of gun control.
The line is ready. Load. Ceasefire.